Hey everyone, welcome to an episode of the Diaries, a podcast about women in baseball, hosted by a woman in baseball, yours truly, Chelsea Raymer. Perfect. Well, you're my first ever guest, so I'm so
Aw,
excited you're here.
thank
I
you.
guess,
I'm very excited.
welcome to, the Diaries podcast. I think that's what I'm going to call it, at least for now. But I knew I wanted to have you on because I'm trying to highlight, women in sports, and you made history as the first female, assistant clubhouse manager with the
Mhm.
Portland Sea Dogs, and I thought that was really awesome. I know we talked a little bit about it before, but before we get into all of that, I wanted to see if you could touch on like where you're from and maybe how you got into sports and like how sports have kind of been a part of your life, like up to this point.
Yeah, of course. So I'm from a small little town, Hoosick Falls, New York. It's about an hour northeast of Albany. Um, how small is it? My graduating high school class was 88 people. Um, we just knew everybody. You knew four classes above you, four classes below you. Like that's just how it is. Small little community. Um, Sports, I just grew up playing them. I think my mom put a softball in my hands before I could even walk. I played everything and anything. My parents always did the best they could to let me try and explore and do everything they could. So I played soccer all the way up until high school. I played basketball from like fourth grade all the way up to high school. My senior year, I played softball from like I was three all the way up and played in college. I had a couple stints of karate. I think I tried lacrosse at one point. Um, yeah, I think I even wanted to try out for the football team at one point too. Yeah, my small little town, it's like rural New York, so it's a sports town. It was a rarity if you didn't go to the football game on Friday nights under the lights to cheer on the guys, but and even in the wintertime, you went to basketball games and you cheered on the girls or the guys. So that's kind of how I just grew up. I just always played sports. I could never sit still. I always wanted to be outside trying something, doing something. And yeah, I just fell in love with sports and stayed with it all the way through.
So how did you kind of decide you wanted to play softball in college and then you went to school for athletic training, correct?
Yeah. So softball, I kind of just took to me naturally. It was one of the first sports I played and I knew I wanted to play. I didn't even do t-ball. I went right to like I guess you could say little league softball where you just hit off the tee and run, but it wasn't really t-ball. Like I don't know how to explain it, but I kind of just got thrown into that just because I was kind of just that good at that age, I guess you could say. Um, Played all the way up through, and then when I got to high school, like it was more like eighth grade, I was like, yeah, I kind of want to start taking this a little bit more seriously. So we went to my first tryout travel team, made it, and I played travel softball along with soccer, basketball, and my high school softball all the way up through until my senior year of high school. And then I got a couple college offers for softball and I got a couple for basketball too. So I had to kind of pick and choose, but I always had a feeling in my heart I was going to choose softball. It was my first love. So I just went and I went to SUNY Potsdam up in North Country, New York. It's in the same town as Clarkson. So um played up there for 4 years and then yeah, I just finished my master's in athletic training from UNE and yeah.
Nice. What position did you play in softball?
Oh, geez. I played everything and anything. When I was younger, I was kind of just rover. I would go around every position I could play. I pitched for a while, and then nobody wanted to catch, so I somehow ended up getting putting the gear on and ended up having a catch. And I was a catcher, and then grew up a little bit. Nobody wanted to play third, so I got switched over to third base, and I'd go back and forth between catching and third all the way up until college. So
Nice. So
yeah.
after you had finished your 4 years and you went to UNE, is that what brought you to Maine? Like, had you ever really been to this area before?
So it's actually a funny story. When I first graduated from Potsdam, I was actually looking at UNE. Was never been to Maine, only ever been to New Hampshire. but I've never went to Maine. So I was actually looking at UNE for grad school, and then something happened with the application, didn't get in on time, something weird. So I actually had to go to Vermont for 2 years, get start, I guess you could say start my master's there. And then when I decided I wasn't for me anymore, that's when I looked to Maine and I was like, yeah, I really want to give it a go again. Like, never been to Maine, but I love the ocean. I love the mountains. I was like, it's kind of the best. You get two in one in Maine. It reminded me a lot of kind of being home, can be rural, but also Portland's right there as well. So being able to like be a couple minute drive away from the beach and then a couple minute drive and you're in the mountains. So um but yeah, I actually never been to Maine before I went to school. I think I went and did it was during COVID. I did like a middle of January, like winter break, like nor'easter went in a couple days earlier. We went up and we kind of just drove around UNE and I was like, yeah, I could see myself here. And then applied and got in and I was like, all right, I guess I'll move to Maine for 2 years. And yeah, that's how I found the Sea Dogs and yeah, the
How long had
history
you
from
been in Maine before you applied to the Sea Dogs?
there. I was in Maine for I guess you could say a fall semester and then I found the Sea Dogs like site in like the spring, I guess you could say. I'm a diehard Red Sox fan, grew up watching Red Sox. So I knew they had a double A team somewhere around there. I forgot, like I didn't know it was actually in Portland. But I knew it was somewhere along the coast, like near that. So I was in fall classes, fall semester, and then we had to stay in Maine for the summer for summer classes. So in-person classes and I was like, all right, I'm gonna need a job. Like, and this, and just like, I love Coach K and working with her in the strength and conditioning room, but I was like, this isn't gonna cover everything I need. So that's when like I was looking into it and I was like, they have a baseball team around here somewhere. Let me just, and that's when I found the Portland Sea Dogs. Yeah.
Nice. So, okay, to go back, because you are from New York, how did you end
Yeah.
up being a Red Sox fan? Like, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, so I honestly like it's kind of a weird story, but so it's kind of multiple parts. So there's a picture of me and a baby, like as a baby, and both my parents were Yankees fans. So I'm in a Yankees onesie. And then of course like I was little, so I had no say in it. And then when I got older, red was my favorite color. And then I remember my like I don't it was we were in like Hickville, so NASCAR was like one of the things always on TV during NASCAR season. And one of my favorite drivers was Jeff Gordon, and his car number was 24. So way back when Olympia Sports was in business, like we went and I don't know how like I got my way, but I wanted a 24 shirt and it was red and it ended up being Manny Ramirez's Boston Red Sox t-shirt and that thing was like three sizes too big for me and I was like little 5 year old but I had that shirt all the way up until I was in middle school and I would wear it and that's like I guess how I became a Red Sox fan. Like I was not going back to the Yankees and I never would go back to the Yankees.
No, that's awesome. I'm from Texas, but I also grew up a Red Sox fan, so I'm so intrigued, especially because you're from New York. I always got
Hmm.
so much hate in Texas, but
Oh
like
yeah.
I imagine in New York it was probably a lot worse.
Yeah, I also think it's just because so like where I am in New York or like where my parents are, we're like the tri-state area, I guess you could say. So actually my cousin's farmland who lives on the same road as we do runs up to the Vermont border. So I live 5 minutes from the Vermont border and then I live 20 minutes from Mass. So I guess it's just like always being influenced of being in New England, but like technically not because I'm from New York, but like I always consider myself a New Englander, so I always just am like drawn to those sports anyway. Like I'm a big Celtics fan, a big Bruins fan. I was a Pats fan when I was younger in the Brady era, and then I kind of bandwagon to the Bills, but we don't have to talk about that. But yeah, like our town, it was mixed. It was like a very small percentage of Red Sox, but the rest was Yankees and Mets. So I always got hate for it.
Oh my gosh, that's too funny. Well, I'm glad you found your Red Sox affiliate here in Maine. So when you were applying on the website, like, did you look for anything specific or like were you kind of going after anything in particular?
No, no to both of those. I just want I knew I wanted to work in baseball. Summer's my favorite season. I always correlate summer with all the memories and the fantastic times I had with travel softball, and I didn't have to work. Like I just played softball all summer. Like that was the best part about travel softball. Like so I think just like correlating all my good memories I had with travel softball and being like yeah, I want to work in baseball for a summer. It has to bring back those amazing memories. So, when I went on the site, I applied to everything and anything. And there were jobs for everything. Like I applied to concessions because I've worked in food service before. I applied to work in the team store because I worked in the team store before. Or like I worked in retail before. I applied to I think everything and anything that was on that list or that website. And then I didn't even know I applied to be assistant clubhouse manager. Like I said, I think I applied, it was like 6 jobs and I just sent an application in for everything. It was like, I hope I get something.
So when, Mike, our clubhouse manager, reached out to you about the assistant clubhouse job, like, what was your reaction? Were you expecting, like, did you hear back from any jobs other than that one?
Um, I did not hear back from any jobs but him. I was like, are you sure? Like, because he was like, oh, did you apply for the assistant clubhouse job? And I was like, yeah, I think so. I'm like, I'm gonna be honest. I applied to a lot that was on there, and he was like, oh, have you ever done like anything this before? And I was like, absolutely not. I was like, but I'm willing to learn, and I'm a quick learner. And he was like, all right, and he kind of like explained it a little bit over the phone of like what the job would be, and he's like, well, are you still interested? And I was like, I'll give it a shot. Like, why not? Like we'll go with it. We'll roll with the punches. And then he was like, all right, will you be able to come in, do like an in-person interview, take a look at the clubhouse, like meet me and maybe like walk around and see what we can do. And I was like, why not? I was like, I'll go, if not, I'll go. And what's the worst thing he's gonna tell me? No. Be like, okay, that means I'll just go to the games in the summer anyway. But yeah, I was not. I had no idea what it entailed. I yeah, I had no idea. I walked in like almost blindsided, but I'm so happy I did.
So what was your reaction to him offering the job? Because like you said, you went in there and said you had no experience and you forgot that you like applied and it was just kind of crazy. What was your reaction to Mike offering you the position?
So it was very nonchalant the way he asked. So we went in, I went in, did the in-person interview, and then he was like, oh, so like we're also like trying to get this restaurant to come back and cater us. Do you want to go to lunch? And I was like, sure. And then in the back of my head, I'm like, Sydney, you're going against every instinct, getting in a car with a man you don't know. And I was like, but you know what? I was like, in my head, I was like, I could take him if anything does happen, right? But we went to lunch. We went to El Corazon, and we were talking to their owner. I believe his name was Joe. Amazing guy, amazing restaurant, really good food. And then we got done, and we were walking out back to his truck, and we got in his truck, and he's like, "So do you want the job?" And I was like, "Sure." I was like, "Yeah," because at that point I had no idea because he expressed how much he wanted somebody there for the full season. So the full season was from we started in March and went all the way to September. And at that point, my immersion rotation would start in August. So I was like, I didn't know if I was going to stay in Maine. I didn't know if I was going to go back to New York to save money. Like, I didn't know what I was going to do. So at that point, I was just like, sure. And if we get to that point, we'll figure it out. But I was like, you know what? And then started the job. A couple months in, I was like, yeah, I'm not leaving. I'm staying in Maine. So I found a an immersion rotation there in Maine for the full year or the rest of the school year. And I was like, yeah, I'm not leaving. I'm staying. And yeah, it was awesome.
So, how were you feeling kind of going into your first day on the job? Did you get thrown into it? Did you get to like meet the team? Do you remember like all of those kind of feelings walking into the clubhouse, like, ready to go?
Yeah. Oh, so first day, first couple days I went in, the guys weren't there yet. They haven't reported. They were still down in Florida. So it was mostly getting the training or getting the clubhouse ready for them to come in. So as stupid as it is, like putting hangers in their lockers or making sure the couches are ready and like the fridges are stocked and like the AT room like set up for Bobby and Michaela at the point. Like and making sure like Epi's office was in shape and like in order. It was just like the little like things they don't think of when they come in. It was just getting stuff like that done. And then I remember I had class the first day they reported. So I came late because they all reported in the morning. And I came late and I just walked in and I was like, oh, I was like, huh. Everybody kind of looked at me like, who are you? And then Mike came and got me. He's like, oh, everyone, by the way, this is my new assistant, Sydney. And yeah, I went through and met everybody. I met T Mac when Tyler McDonough and he was there, like when he was one of the first guys that came up and introduced himself. I met Ep. Uh, yeah, I met everybody, but I it was so nerve-wracking. Like again, I had no idea what I was walking into, and I was like, yeah, I was just like, what am I gonna do? Like what like I can't go in the locker room, like what am I gonna do? And so Mike kind of came up and he kind of showed me like a couple stuff I can do in the kitchen. And then he introduced me to Bobby and Michaela, made sure I knew them very well and got to know them very well since our two athletic trainers and I was going to school for it, getting to know them and yeah, but I was so nervous. Like I had like that pit in your stomach, like what's gonna happen?
So once you obviously got settled into routine during the season and everything, what did a typical day on the job look like for you?
Yeah, so my first season, we were in the old clubhouse. So the kitchen was kind of like attached to the locker room, how weird that is. But when I would come in about 2 hours before game time, so I'd be coming right from class most of the time, I would or clinical, honestly. I'd come in, throw my stuff down, make sure the fridges so were stocked, so their waters, cherry juice, milk, stuff they would just grab and drink on the go. Make sure like fruit cups were packed, like their pregame meal, like condense it if it needed condensing, like start picking up a little bit. Um, Going through and doing like trashes that I could at the moment. It's a lot of just like behind the scenes stuff that like people don't think about. So like as little stuff as like doing the garbage or like picking up after them. Like it was a lot of little stuff like that before the game. When the game started, going through doing lots and lots of laundry, um making sure the counters and everything were ready for post game meal to come in. There was a little bit of downtime in the old clubhouse. Um excuse me, between loads of laundry and stuff like that. And then when post game would come in, we'd get the warmer on, or we'd put everything in the warmer if it was warm, and we'd get the counter space ready again. And then we'd finish doing the laundry, and by then it'd be about eighth inning. Depending on if it was warm, Mike and I would go up and watch in the bullpen. And then we'd once the ninth inning ended, we'd run down and take the food out of the warmer and set it up, and he'd start grabbing uh their uniforms to throw right into the washer dryer after everybody would clear out and eat. It was just garbage runs, picking up laundry, taking the garbage all the way out to the dumpster. And then my favorite part was hanging up the uniforms at night. And then if they had specialty jerseys, doing the specialty jerseys and the hats. That was probably my favorite because at the end of the night, it just made the chaos like the calm. Like it was chaos. It was like and then it just went calm. And it was one of my favorite parts.
How did your kind of relationship with the players kind of develop over time? I know you said some went up and introduced themselves to you right away. Did it take a second for them to kind of get used to you being there? Like, how did that kind of go?
I feel like a couple of them like just took to me right away. Like they would start like Hunter Dobbins is a good example. He would just and Cello and Roman, they'd always come up, ask me how I'm doing. No matter what they were doing, whether they were just walking by or actually like wanting to come and talk. And then I felt like a couple, like it was most of our like Colombian guys. I feel like they were kind of more timid, which is okay. They're most likely not used to having a female in the clubhouse, but like they opened up a lot. Wiki Gonzalez, he opened up all the time once I was there for a while. And then when we had JD at the end of the season, he was always talking to me.
Okay, so I'm really curious, what is like the weirdest snack request you've ever gotten? Like, what's just the most outlandish thing where you're like, do they really, really want me to do this?
Oh my Lord. They didn't ask me to do it, but they would do it. It was hot Cheetos and what they would make like it was like flaming hot Cheetos and then they'd put like lime juice. They'd make like almost like a street taco almost without like the meat. Yeah. It was really weird. And then I know Marcelo loved the Nature Valley strawberry wafer bars. So I'd always make sure those were on the trees. Um Oh no, it was, and then I know toward the end of the first season, the guys would, it was a lot of the California guys. Don't know what it was, but they would take regular Lay's chips and put like hot sauce in them.
Mm.
And yeah, I, I don't know, but they claimed it was really good and I was not willing to try it. So I said it was all them, but, um, those were probably that was probably the weirdest was like the flaming hot Cheetos with the hot sauce and then the Lay's with the hot sauce. Yeah, those are probably the weirdest ones.
So, since you were an athlete, you kind of grew up in the locker room setting, obviously your first time being in like a male dominated space, do you think being an athlete, you were able to relate to them a little bit?
Yeah, I think it definitely helped. I mean, growing up, I played a lot with it's weird. I played a lot with the boys just because I was like not to toot my own horn or be like that, but like I always I don't know why my athletic ability when I was younger was always higher. I felt like even softball they wanted me to switch to baseball for a while just because um they felt like one age range for softball was too high, but the one I was in was too low. So they want and then the coaches just tried to pick me because they just wanted me to play baseball. But like basketball, because we're such a small town in our community center, we played mixed. Like it was normal. Like I remember at one point I was the only girl on an all guy basketball team and I played through it. I mean, I played through like broken noses, from elbows and yeah, I played with the guys because I kept up with them and I felt like it made me a better player. But it definitely helped being around them growing up, making sure I had the toughness for it, but also like just knowing.
Nice. So, I know you said you were also working towards your master's in athletic training. How did you balance all of that, like with the studying and everything, while also working, late nights in the clubhouse?
It was hard. Time management really helped though, because there would be days I remember spring semester, so April, May, I would be in class all day and I'd go to clinical for 2 or 3 hours and then I'd have to leave and go to work. And like during that downtime, I did homework. Like I studied. I had Quizlets, I had my iPad or my laptop out most of the time. Like could even ask Mike, like I was always studying in that clubhouse. And even when I was studying for my BOC, like my laptop, my iPad, I was in there talking to Bobby or Shelby. I was asking them questions. Like I was always studying, even if it didn't look like I wasn't. But time management for sure helped me a lot with that.
So how was your kind of transition from your first season from your second season? I know we got a new clubhouse, which is really awesome and everything, but how would you say your second season differed from your first?
Um, I feel like just the second season, I came in more confident. Like I knew what I was doing. I had my routine down. I knew, I mean, couple members of the coaching staff changed, but like, and then I knew it was going to be a different team with guys. Like I knew I had a couple guys come back from my first season, but like I knew what I was doing. I was more confident. Um, yeah, I just felt like nothing could stop me at that point because I knew at that point I knew I was good at my job and I knew I had it in the bag and I wanted to go to work and have fun at the same time.
Do you have a favorite memory from your 2 seasons working in the clubhouse?
Oh, there's so many. Um, I wouldn't know if it's my favorite, but I remember we're first season in the clubhouse. It was actually around the same time Netflix came out. It might have honestly been the same day. It was two memories. It was Roman, Marcelo, Kyle, Teal, and probably Christopher Troy or Nick Decker. They're all laying on the couches, and I was like going around and doing like trashes. And we were talking about Sea Dog biscuits, and Roman thought I was going to the kitchen, and he was like, "Oh, can you grab me a Sea Dog biscuit?" And I looked at him, and I'm like, "You have 2 feet. Get up and use them yourself. Like, get up and use them and go get one." And he was like, kind of like taken aback. And I was like, if you give me $5, I'll go get you one. And sure enough, he gave me $5. So I went and grabbed him one. But I think it was just funny because I don't think with him being such a big prospect, like he wasn't like almost knocked down to like reality for a second. Like having, I know he has an older sister, but like I felt like I was like his older sister in that instance. And it probably brought him back to memories of his older sister beating up on him. And then probably the same night was when Kyle, it was like toward the end of the season, Kyle had Mike's guitar and it was like Nick Decker, Chris Troy, see Marcelo, Roman, and probably one other person. Kyle was playing the guitar and all they were all like sitting around on the couch listening to him sing and play the guitar. It was probably one of my other favorites.
Oh, nice. So do you feel like a proud big sister sometimes? Like you've had so many prospects we've seen go to the majors. That's so crazy.
Yeah. No, every single time I feel like a proud sister moment. I know my first one was Mickey Gasper. He made it. And yeah, I was like over the moon happy and then Penrod went and then Zephyr John went and then yeah, and it was like seeing them make their MLB debut or even going up to Worcester or wherever they're going, like it just yeah, it makes my heart happy seeing them because I do feel like a sister to them. Like that's like 30 brothers I have that I never had that like I've always wanted. Maybe not that many, but like they're like brothers to me. And that like everybody in the clubhouse just becomes family for a season because we're with each other almost every like day. Well, we are for a week and then I get rid of them for a week, which is much needed, and then they come back. But like yeah, we're with each other almost every day, so it's easy to become family.
So now I have to ask, what are you up to now? Like, where are you working? Did you finish school? I just want to hear like a little life update where you are now.
Yeah. So I finished school in May, got my master's finally. Whoop whoop. I took a job back in New York. I'm in actually 2 hours kind of western New York now. Small little city of Oneonta. I'm working at a Hartwick College, small little private college, which coincidentally doesn't have baseball. Don't
Oh,
know how that managed, but we have softball. But like reference wise, I'm right by Cooperstown, so whenever I want, I can always go to the Hall of Fame.
oh, nice. Oh, that's
Yeah.
so exciting. And then, so kind of one of my last questions, just to wrap everything up, what advice would you give to a girl or any women who kind of want to achieve a similar role that you were in, but maybe they don't know where to start or they're not feeling confident? Like, what advice would you give to someone who wants to be in your shoes?
Yeah. I know you asked me this question before and I like kind of had no idea how to answer it, but I still kind of don't, but like I mean, all I can say is like what's the worst thing they're gonna tell you? No. Like um yeah, like just send in an app like wherever you're looking, like you don't like as long I also say fake it till you make it because that's how I got that job. Like I faked it, saying that like he looked at my resume that I was an athlete and that I could do it, and then I went in and had no idea. But like that's how I got the job. Like I faked it till I made it, and look, I made it. Like that was the best job I could have ever had. But like just like as weird as it is, like just send it in. Like what are they gonna do? Tell you no? Like that means that there are better things out there for you. Yeah, it might hurt and sting a little bit, but that means something greater is gonna come down the road. Like just like I said, I think I said before, just do it. Like Nike, like send in your app. Like what are they gonna do? Not get back to you? Oh well. Like try again next year. Like that's what I did with the Professional Football Association for ATs. Like last year I put in an application, they never got back to me. I sent one in this year and I already got an email back from the Steelers. So like keep trying. Like it's gonna happen.
Awesome. No, that was really good. I don't remember your first answer ever being bad though. Like that was good
Yeah. I
advice.
can't remember. I was so nervous. I was like speed talking, I remember, like on the video, and I was like, whenever I watch the video, I'm just like, Sydney, slow down. You're
No, it
fine.
was
And I just felt
great.
like I sped talk through the whole thing.
Well, I never want the answers to like always be rehearsed because I think it's like genuine when you have to like think about it and then you
Yeah.
like talk through it. But that's all the questions I have, unless you want to add any other like words of wisdom or anything you think I may have missed.
Oh, God. Uh, I don't think so. I mean, if you see a woman doing it, you can do it. Like for the little girls out there, like, um, yeah, like it was weird being the only one in there besides Michaela or Shelby, but like otherwise being like the first, it was kind of weird, but I was very honored. Like I'm still honored to this day. I wish I could go back every single day. I miss everybody in Portland. But yeah, I can't wait to come back.
Nice. Yeah, you'll have to come back and visit.
Oh yeah, I am planning to hopefully in the summer. I also heard Banana Ball is coming back.
Yeah.
That's exciting. One of my good friends is actually the AT for the Texas Tailgaters, part of Banana Ball. So he was actually the main Celtics G League AT. And now
Oh,
he's so this
cool.
is like his homecoming, I said, so I'll have to make it up to see him.
Oh, that's awesome. No, definitely you'll have to. I'm excited, especially for the Texas Tailgaters. Being from Texas, I'm gonna buy so much merch. Like, I'm
Yeah,
so excited.
that's awesome.
Yeah, but no, thank you for
Yeah.
joining me. I'm super excited. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll chat again soon. XOXO, Chelsea.